Hello, my name is Dee, and I've got the beautiful Tucson mountains behind us, Push Ridge and the Catalina Mountains. And since you can't come to Oro Valley Parks and Rec in the community center, we're bringing it to you by way of having a yoga class today. So for 35 minutes, I'm going to provide you with a gentle yoga practice that'll just help you stretch and strengthen and balance your muscles, your tendons, your ligaments, your bones. And so what I'd like you to do is gather a mat and a blanket. You can place the blanket on the head, one end of your mat for your head to rest on. And then just lay down with your back on the mat, stomach facing the sky. And I'm just going to ask you to settle into corpse pose, which means your legs are slightly apart, your feet are poised so that your toes come to the outside of the edges of your mat. That externally rotates the muscles and the bones so that you can relax those legs fully. Come to your hips and just feel the connection with the mat underneath you. Feel the area on the mat underneath your shoulders, and just rock your head gently long enough to find the center so that you can really relax the sides of the muscles in the face, the neck, and the throat. Palms can be up or down, depending on what's most comfortable for you. You can explore both ways. And then just come quietly to your breath and to an awareness of yourself breathing in and out. Think of this air as oxygen coming into the lungs, carbon dioxide leaving the lungs. Just get comfortable with coming inside of your breath. Yoga is very connected to breath, and so we move our body and integrate our breath into some motions so that we're feeling the sensations of a pose and feeling where we need to stop a stretch, how long we need to strengthen a muscle before we release and relax so we don't take things too far. And we honor our bodies so that we're really listening through that quietness and through that connection with ourselves so that we deliver a nice practice for our body. And so I'm hoping today's practice will be calming for you. So if your eyes aren't already closed, go ahead and close your eyes. And just follow the natural rhythm of your body's breath. And just hear noises around me. Just see if you can come back to the focus being on your breath. Just like if a thought pops into your head, come back to an awareness of the sensations in your body as you breathe in and out. You inhale fully extended and exhale, releasing the breath slowly bit by bit. And just slowly your body begins to settle more on the mat. Calm down, be ready to listen and follow directions with the eyes closed sometimes so that we're really being in our bodies and connecting with ourselves. So gently release your hands from your sides and just pull them up to your abdomen. One hand on the belly, one hand on the chest. Feeling the sensations here, the breath moving in and out, just like energy, entering and then leaving. And what I'd like you to try to do is begin to do some belly breathing. So as you inhale, what I'd like you to do is bring your navel away from your spine. Fill your abdomen first as if it's a balloon, and then feel the air come up into your lower lungs and your upper lungs. As you release each breath, you'll release it from the upper lungs, the middle lungs and chest, and finally from the abdomen. You'll feel that navel come back towards the spine. Take 10 to 15 of these belly breaths, filling your belly before visualizing that breath moving up into your chest and up into the upper lungs, and then visualize it swishing slowly out of your body. If you're thinking of thoughts, if things are still bombarding you, see if coming back to the breath helps you. And as you finish with the 10 breaths or so, you can release the hands if you'd like. Just place them once again next to you and just continue to let your body engage that natural rhythm of the breath going in and out of your body. So you're lying there, just begin to wiggle your toes, wiggle the fingers. So just stretch the fingers wide apart from each other, toes too. And we'll begin to dip the head, just rocking it gently back and forth from side to side. A couple times each side. We're not moving very quickly here. We have no place to go, nowhere to be. Let's place our head back in neutral position. And we're gonna, one at a time or both at a time, bring both knees up into the chest. We can wrap our arms around our knees or hold on to our shins. We're just hugging the legs into the body, giving the front side of the body a little massage here. We'll then stretch our feet skyward, pushing through our heels, pointing through the toes, and just switching from pointing to flexing, stretching out all across the bottoms of our feet. We'll bring our feet to neutral, and slowly we'll just begin to part the feet out to the sides, coming into a wide angle pose here on our backs. The hands can be resting somewhere along the legs on the inside or the outside, whatever's most comfortable for you. Feel your sacrum rooted to the floor here, and then begin to draw the feet back together. We're gonna hug just the right knee in, bringing our hands and fingers interlaced on top of the shin. We're gonna push through the left heel, activating this whole left leg as we slowly lower this left leg down towards our mat. Once you can feel your heel almost reaching the floor, hover there for a moment, and then lift head, neck, and chest up towards this right knee. Your left foot is engaged. The heel is pressing away from your hips. You're lengthening that leg. Release the head, neck, and chest. Release the left foot. The heel touches the ground. We're still hugging this right knee into our body. What we'll do first is just release the hands, bringing the right palm to the right knee. And we'll start with some knee circles. We'll do a few each direction. And then we'll switch to go the opposite direction. Your circles can be large, they can be small. We'll bring our knee back to center, and we're gonna walk our hand to our ankle as we lift the foot into the air. The knee is drawn towards the armpit on the right side. This is half happy baby. You can hold on to the inside of the foot or the outside of the foot. We're stretching the thigh, the hips on the right side. And then gently begin to shift the foot so that you bring it from a happy baby to a tree pose. So the sole of the right foot is against the left thigh. Push through that left heel as if you're standing on the floor doing a tree pose in the standing position. Let's inhale, bringing palms together at the heart center. Taking a deep breath here in tree pose. And as we release our hands from our prayer pose, we'll begin to shift, bringing the right knee up and over, lifting the right hip up and over, keeping the right shoulder on the ground. The right arm extends out to the right side, wide like a wing. I'm using my left hand on my right knee to come into a gentle lumbar twist here. Option to turn the head to the right, away from the knees. Take a breath here. And then we'll roll back onto both hips. We'll lengthen and extend the right foot next to the left foot. We'll bring both arms down by our side, and we'll take a full body stretch by inhaling the arms up and over the head, stretching through the heels and the toes as we stretch the other half of our body away from the heels and the toes, reaching our fingertips behind us. Letting the next exhale return our arms down by our side. We'll bring one knee at a time back up to the chest. Wrap our arms around our legs here. We'll rock back and forth. We'll come back to center. Extend the legs skyward once more. We could point and flex or roll the ankles in different directions, in the same directions. And then reverse, roll the ankles the opposite way. Bring the feet to neutral, making sure we're rooted in the sacrum. Let's begin to draw the legs apart once more into a wide angle. Take a deep breath as you try to relax the muscles in the inner thigh as they enjoy that nice stretch. We'll begin to bring the feet together, drawing them towards the center. This time we're going to hug the left knee in, interlacing our fingers around that shin. We're pushing through the heel of the right leg. All the muscles in the right leg are wrapping around the bones here. And we'll slowly begin to lower that leg, the right leg, until we can feel the heel hovering just above the ground. Then we'll lift head, neck, and chest towards that left knee, engaging the abdomen, releasing as you're ready. Head, neck, and chest, plus the right heel comes to the ground. Let's begin with the hip circles on this side, first going in one direction. Any size circle, large or small. Slowing down, rotating in the opposite direction. Good. We'll come to happy baby, bringing the knee towards the left armpit. Holding our ankle or the outside or inside edge of our feet with the left hand. Pushing through the heel of the right leg, activating that leg. Take a deep breath, feeling that stretch. And then go ahead and begin to bring the sole of the left foot against the right thigh. Circle the hands to heart center and tree pose here. Again, imagine that right heel and that right foot is flat on the ground. You're standing straight as an arrow. Tailbone tucked, belly drawn into the spine. Release the hands and we'll begin to lift the left knee up and over, keeping that left foot on the right thigh. We'll lift the left hip, stacking it on top of the right. My right hand is holding down my left knee. Left arm is stretched out to the side. My hands, my fingers are reaching out to the side. I can look that direction away from my knees. Take 2 breaths. And then begin to gently release, rolling that hip back onto the ground. We'll bring the right knee up into the chest and we'll come over onto our side. For just a moment, we could place our arm underneath our head. We'll bring our knees towards our chest. This is called seed or fetus pose. From here, we'll lengthen the top leg, stretching it out long on the mat. We'll push with our upper arm and bring our head up to a comfortable seated position in our body. So now we're comfortably seated. Our sits bones are connected to the floor. We can release any tissues from underneath the sits bones to become more comfortable. If you have a blanket, you can take it from where it was underneath your head and place it underneath your hips so that you can rotate the hips forward so that your back keeps that natural S curve. We're going to extend our legs out in front of us in staff pose. We're going to push through the heels, activating both legs. We're going to place the hands by our sides, outside of our thighs. We're just going to slowly walk, keeping a flat back until we feel a stretch in our thighs and we think, oh, this is a good place to hang out. Take a few breaths here. Feel yourself lengthening from the tailbone all the way through the crown of your head. Let your chest lean forward and then begin slowly, keep walking the hands towards the ankles. You can drop the head. Begin to release the hands, release the head. Feel the muscles stretching all along your spine and the backs of your legs. We're going to walk our hands back towards our hips. We're going to widen the feet, coming into that wide angle pose that we did on our backs. Checking for our sits bones, we need to tilt the pelvis forward. So try to sit up on your sits bones. Nice posture, reaching the crown of your head to the ceiling. This time we're going to do a forward fold without the legs in the way. So just begin to walk your hands forward, keeping your back flat, finding that place where it's a stretch and holding there for a few breaths. Let's walk over to this right leg so that our chest comes over the thigh. We're then going to walk our hands towards our hips, bring our right hand to the outside of that left knee, draw our left hand around behind us, and we'll just twist the lumbar gently here, releasing, twisting the torso around to the front. We'll walk again to the middle, keeping a flat back, extending the crown of the head towards the ceiling. This time we'll walk over to the right leg, bringing the chest over on top of the right thigh, stretching the hamstring, all the muscles on the backs of the legs. And then we'll begin to walk our hands up towards our hips. We'll take our left hand on the outside of the right knee, swing the right arm around behind us. We can either be on our palms or our tips of our fingers. We'll take a gentle lumbar twist here, releasing the torso, coming back to the front. Let's bring our soles of the feet together into a supine butterfly pose. Feeling the toes matching against the toes, balls of the feet, heels, all matching on the opposite side. Feeling the foot, each leg, letting the knees, the thighs relax. Begin to stretch your toes away from your hips. We'll swing our legs around and we'll briefly come into table long enough to do cat-cows. So we'll just begin to push through the shoulders, dropping the head, tilting the pelvis forward. As we shift, we'll arch the back, dropping the navel towards the spine. We lift the head a little bit. Gaze comes to the edge of the mat. We'll switch, giving the back a chance to stretch the muscles, the vertebra, the ligaments and the tendons. Let's curl our toes underneath our feet. We're going to push down on our hands, lift our knees, push down on our toes. Hips and knees come up and back. Hands can walk towards feet if that's comfortable. They can widen so that you can bring your ears in between your biceps. Try to envision yourself long from the heels to the hips and long from the hips to the hands. You can walk the dog here. Good. We'll look at our hands, at the space between our hands, and walk our hands up 2 handprints as we lower our hips towards the ground. We're coming into plank. Elbows are soft, they're not locked. Stomach is engaged. We're going to begin to lower ourselves by bending our elbows, lowering yourself as slowly as you can down to the ground. We can place our palms on top of one another and put our forehead here. Take a couple of breaths with hands stacked, lying on your stomach. Now engage your thighs, engage your glutes, and begin to lift both feet up towards the ceiling. The legs are straight, and then release the legs toward the floor. This time we'll lift the legs just like we did before by engaging the thighs, engaging the glutes, lifting the feet, but we're also going to stretch our arms out in front of us and lift our head, neck, and shoulders along with our feet, stretching our fingers to the opposite walls as our toes stretch as well. And then bring it back in, bring the hands back in, stack palms, rest on your hands. Take a breath. We'll then place both hands under the shoulders. We're going to push up into downward dog again. So the toes curl. We're on our hands and feet. We're going to push on the hands, push on the feet, come into down dog. Walk our feet to our hands or our hands to our feet. We're here in forward fold. If you have high blood pressure, just go ahead and come on up to a standing position with a flat back. For those of you in a forward fold, just let your head hang here for a moment. Your hands hang. Then we'll bring our hands up to our hips. With a flat back, we'll come up halfway. From here, we want to engage the crown of our head one direction, the tailbone the other direction. We want to feel solid with our feet connected to the ground. We want to feel a stretch along the whole area of the back of each leg. Let's put our hands on our thighs and come all the way up to standing with a flat back. Once we're here, let's roll the shoulders up, back, and down. And as we roll them the last time, we'll just set the shoulders on to the back, drawing the blades toward the spine on each side. Okay. From here, we're going to come into a wide angle pose. So we're going to draw the feet wide, just like we did seated, just like we did supine. Feet are parallel. Legs are straight. Let's place our hands on our hips and leading with our chest, not our chin. The jaws relaxed. We're going to come forward into a forward fold. Keeping the back flat, just lower the head down towards the ground. Once you're close, you can reach your hands towards the ground. If you need to bend your knees to touch the ground, go ahead and do that. If you don't, go ahead and straighten them. We'll leave the left hand here in the center as we sweep the right arm up and back behind us, reaching the fingers towards the sky. We can look sideways or we can look straight up to the hand. Let an exhale. Release that hand. We're going to leave the right hand in the center now. Sweep the left arm up and out, looking at that hand or looking off to the side. And as we exhale, we'll release that arm down. Let's bring our hands back up to our hips, fully engage each leg. We're going to come back up to standing. We're going to tuck in our tailbone, draw our navel towards our spine. Let's turn the right foot first, 90 degrees. So it's pointing to the top of our mat, or the bottom, I guess. Let's bend that front knee, walking our back leg back so that we get a really nice stretch. Our hips are facing the side, so the long edge of the mat. We're relaxing the upper part of our body while our feet are sticking to the mat. The feet are engaged. You can feel all four corners solid. So from the hips down, we're really solid here. We're gonna relax the arms. As we inhale, we'll inhale our arms up overhead, reaching for the sky. As we exhale, let's bring them parallel, gazing over the middle fingers. The front knee is bent. We're tracking the knee to the smaller toes. Our arms are engaged. You can check your back arm if you'd like. Draw the navel in and slightly up. Smile. We'll relax the back hand, straighten the front leg, flip the front hand or palm, and we'll inhale as we reach this arm towards the sky. Taking a breath here, raising the fingers, stretching them out. As we exhale, we're going to flip the palm, come back into, bring this arm back down towards the right thigh. Let's begin to shift. We're going to keep our hips evenly in between both feet. And we're just going to begin to lean like a tea kettle forward as we reach the right hand down towards the knee and shin. We'll then stack our elbows, stack our shoulders, stack our wrists, fingers into triangle pose. Feeling the strength in the lower part of the body, strength in the core as you lift the torso back up and release the arms down by your sides. We'll turn that right foot 90 degrees so that both feet are now parallel once more. And then we'll begin to turn the left foot 90 degrees. We'll bend the left knee. Relax the upper part of the body. Feel the stretch in the legs. Let's inhale the arms up overhead. Exhale into warrior two. Feeling the strength of this pose, drawing the navel towards the spine. Legs are active. We'll relax the back arm, straighten the knee, flip the palm. Inhale our arm up, reaching towards the sky. Take a deep breath in. As you exhale, we'll release this hand. We'll face the palm forward and we'll begin tipping over, leaning till we can touch our shin with our fingertips. We'll stack fingers on fingers, elbows to elbow. Engaging the core, lift the torso back to center. Release the hand by your side. We'll turn that left foot back 90 degrees and heel toe, back to center. We'll come down through the mat through a squat. So we'll bring our hands to heart center. Heels are a little bit wider than hips. Toes are facing outward, and we'll bend the knees, bringing the legs, bending the knees. I'm using my elbows to push my legs out to open the hips. I'll place one hand in front, one hand behind, and bring the seat down to the mat. I'm going to orient myself so that I can come back to laying down. If I have a blanket, I'm going to place it where the head goes. I'm going to rock back until I can find a place that's nice and flat. I'll bring my hands to the underside of my thighs as I lift both feet, bringing the lower legs parallel to the ground. I can release my hands or keep them here and gently, slowly lower down into or onto the mat. Let the spine settle here for a moment. And then we'll step each foot onto the mat, knees to the sky. Arms are drawn down by the sides of the body. As we exhale, we'll bring the knees over to the side, right side of the mat. We'll inhale the knees back to center and windshield wiper over to the left side. Inhale, knees back to center, continuing windshield wipers with your own breath at your own pace. Inhale, the knees back to center. We'll walk our feet wide so we can feel the edges of the mat on our little toe. And then let's lower both knees to the right. We'll look to the left. Take a breath or two here. Wait for an inhale to bring the head and the knees back to center. Wait for the exhale to come with the knees on the other side. Gentle lumbar twist here. Take a couple breaths here. Then we'll lift the knees on an inhale back to center. From here, let's walk the feet back in, walk the hands in so that they're right by the torso, elbows right by the waist, fingers flat on the mat. Find the four corners of each foot and begin to push through the palm of the hand, push through the fingers, push through the feet, lift the hips up off the ground. Keep your head and neck facing the ceiling this whole time. Extend your arms long, feel the elbows helping you resist and hold the hips up. Take a deep breath in, feel the lungs engage and swell with air. And as you exhale, begin to lower the hips towards the ground, letting the vertebra come slowly into contact with the ground underneath you until your whole spine is resting comfortably on your mat. From here, we're going to push up again into our arch pose or our bridge pose. We'll lift the hips, pushing through both feet evenly. Try to keep your knees together. Some of you might want to lift one foot at a time, making sure you're solid on the opposite foot before lifting the opposite. And as you're ready, releasing the spine slowly towards the earth so that vertebra by vertebra you make contact with the floor until you're fully resting on your mat. We're going to push up into our bridge pose one more time. This time we're going to connect our hands together, interlace our fingers, and walk our shoulder blades down a little bit. I'm stretching my fingers towards the heels, keeping the knees together. The bottom half of my body is super engaged. I'm stretching my chest, opening my ribs as I breathe. And then slowly release the fingers, bring the arms back to the sides, and slowly lower the hips till each vertebra in succession makes contact with the floor. Stay here for just a moment, just checking in with your breath, making it slower. We'll begin to stretch ourselves out into our corpse pose. So just draw your legs a little bit apart. Hands are down by your sides. Palms up or palms down. Eyes are closed gently. Without anything in your vision, ignoring any other sounds but the sound of my voice. Just begin to settle into your mat further. Letting your muscles release and relax as you lie down there. Come to your breath. Notice what it's doing right now after that exertion and effort. And then draw the breaths in more deeply. Exhale each breath more deeply. If you can figure out a way to make your body a little bit more comfortable, please feel free to move and adjust. And then settle back in, making sure as many of your muscles can relax as possible. So toes are open to the side. Look for tightnesses in your body, sending the breath on the inhale to those spots. And as you exhale, feeling those spots release, relax. Just become connected with your breath once more in the stillness that you're feeling in your body right now. After moving and flowing from one shape to another, just relax the muscles behind your eyes, the muscles in your jaw, your face, throat, neck. Let your hands, arms, and shoulders feel really heavy on the mat. Walking down your spine and your mind, your mind's eye. Come to the hips and just release any spots that are still tense, still holding on. Move down both legs to the feet. Feel the whole body feeling heavy on the mat. If your mind jumps to a thought, just come back to the breath. Come back to this moment in time. Be present in your body here. If you'd like to extend this Shavasana, continue to just breathe your natural breath for as long as you'd like to lay there today, so that you can gain some peace, some calmness to your day. The rest of you can begin to wiggle your fingers, wiggle your toes, rock your head from side to side very gently. And as you're ready, come over onto one side, stacking hips and shoulders in the seat or fetus pose, just like we were in before. Slowly coming up into a seated position as you're ready, so that we can close our practice together for today. Until next time, hands are at heart center. Take a deep breath, close the eyes gently. May yoga help you healthily connect body, mind, and spirit so that you're happy, you're healthy, you're safe, and you're living your life with ease. Namaste. Thanks for joining me. See you next time.